it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Scholl.
Here.
McIntyre. Here. DeCook.
Here. Are there any agenda deletions? Seeing none. Action item number 1, consent agenda. Claims. We have a claims amount of $200,191.98. We have fringes at $71.89. Minutes to approve. Special meetings. June 18, 2020, June 26, 2020, June 30, 2020, regular meeting, June 16, 2020. C, approve hire Nathaniel Davidson, road maintenance tech 1, secondary roads, effective July 1st, 2020. D, approve wage increase Ryan McFerrin, conservation technician, conservation, effective August 8, 2020. E, approve wage increase Kevin Brown, conservation technician, conservation, effective July 28, 2020. F, approve payroll removal Wade Henry, seasonal secondary roads worker, secondary roads, effective April 16, 2020. G, approve payroll removal Sean Probasco, substitute meal cook, site cook, nutrition, effective July 1st, 2020. H, approve abatement of mobile home taxes pursuant to Iowa Code Chapter 435.25 on VIN number HG3064 in the amount of $97. I, approve application for the annual Warren County Health and Safety Fair for use of the lawn east side of the administration building or auditorium in case of rain on September 10, 2020 from 3 to 7:30 p.m. J, approve fireworks permit for extreme exteriors. K, approve contract with Dennis L. McKnight for field fence installation for project number FM-C091, parens 123-55-91. L, set public hearing date for July 21st, 2020 at 6:05 p.m. regarding a rezoning submitted by Glenn and Ginger Reese from A1 to RR1.
I would move the consent agenda.
Second.
Tracy?
Scholl.
Aye.
McIntyre.
Aye.
DeCook.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 2.
It's not yet, it's not
Oh.
35 yet.
Yep, we're gonna have to move down to, well, let's skip to number 3. Consider change order with Motorola Solutions, Inc. on 911 communications project with possible action.
This is in regards to the change order. Originally, the proposal had monopole at the new courthouse facility on the square. For several reasons, that was nicked, and we were going for a roof mount, which would have required, I think it was a change order or a alternate on the bid for the courthouse for a roof mount antenna to the side of the building on the south side. That was not real favorable either, so we were looking at alternate locations. The choices we had was to put up a monopole at the county yards or to utilize the current Hillcrest water tower that we use now today for our communications. And the cheaper route was to go with the Hillcrest water tower. The difference between the proposal at the courthouse and the one at Hillcrest is we need to have an LP tank, a generator, and a shelter for the equipment, and that's the $300,000.
Supervisor McIntyre, you sit on that board. Do you have some thoughts on it?
Yes.
I think it was the better of all of the choices that were presented. However, it's a huge amount, and that only leaves less than 200,000 in the balance for any other changes. So I just want, I know the 911 board is aware of this, but the sheriff also, and he received an email from our budget director indicating so. So I just want to make Motorola aware that this is it.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
I wrote down it was $304,111, is that?
It is.
Yes,
I would move the change order with
Second.
Motorola Solutions Inc.
I would second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? I would only echo Supervisor McIntyre's thoughts, as well as that I did look at the overall budget and the bonds on the project. And I understand that there's going to be at least a few more relatively minor change orders. And minor is certainly dependent upon your definition of minor. But, you know, in the few $100 range to a few $1,000 ranges, I mean, we can stomach those and still be fine, but there really is an upper cap to the thing, and we are now getting dangerously close to the same, so.
Absolutely.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Scholl,
Aye.
McIntyre.
Aye.
DeCook.
Aye, motion carries. Time do we have? I just thought my cell
Yes.
phone would watch today.
We're good.
9?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
9:37.
We're going to move back to agenda item number 2, public hearing regarding sale of county-owned property, parcel numbers parcel numbers 05000316684 and 05000310626 with possible action.
I would move to go to a public hearing for the two partial numbers that the chairman read.
Second.
Tracy?
Scholl,
Aye.
McIntyre.
Aye.
DeCook.
Aye. We are now in public hearing regarding item number 2 on the agenda. Dawn, are you presenting that one?
I am. So we had been approached in several departments about a gentleman who wanted to perhaps obtain those two parcels. We worked with Brandon Lane in the assessor's office to determine a legal description for both of those parcels. The smaller of the two, which is the one that ends in 626, is .06 acres. It truly does exist. It truly is in Warren County's name. The other parcel does not exist, the one that ends in 684. That was simply an error on Beacon. Brandon took the legal description and mapped it out, and that property from the warranty deed by Mr. Toms and his wife owned, Jerry and Terry, that property is already within their legal description. So we had to separate it out there that said Warren County owned it. It does not. We do not own that. The county does not. It is actually within the legal description for the Toms. I sent Mr. Toms a letter explaining the findings there, and he gave me a call last week and said he is not interested in acquiring the smaller of the two, the .06 acres that ends in 626. We had to have the public hearing today just in case somebody else had noticed this in the paper, had read the notice and was interested. As far as I know, I have had no contact from anybody in my office on my phone about this. So with that said, the board doesn't need to take any action because I don't believe anybody's going to say they want the property.
It is a public hearing, so if anybody is online that is wanting to speak in regards to the sale of this property, you can unmute and speak now, or wave at me or indicate, type a message, and I can convey it.
And in the event that nothing really transpires, we just keep the parcel ending at 626 for 6/10 of an acre.
It will just remain in the county's possession.
We acquired it through tax sale
Yes.
years ago.
Yeah, I think it was less than 6/10.
Okay.
0.026,
0.06 acres.
0.06.
Oh,
Yeah, it's really small.
okay.
I would move to go back to regular session.
Second.
Tracy?
Scholl.
Aye.
McIntyre.
Aye.
DeCook.
Aye. Aye, we are in regular session, and it appears as though inaction actually gets us to our desired result here. And so, barring anything further on it, let's move to item number 4. Okay. Item 4, consider electrical extension proposal with Mid-American Energy Company on 911 communications project, Norwalk site, and authorize payment with possible action.
This is the proposal from Mid-American to run electrical to the Norwalk Tower site. It's quite pricey. There's some underground stuff for this site, but we do get refunded the money that they do not use.
Do you have a total for us, Doug?
It was $10,000.
$778.70.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the 911 communications electrical service extension proposal with Mid-American Energy Norwalk site.
Second.
Discussion? Tracy?
Scholl.
Aye.
McIntyre.
Aye.
DeCook.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 5, consider gas service proposal with Mid-American Energy Company on Justice Center project and authorize payment with possible action.
This is for the proposal from Mid-America to provide the gas service at the new Justice Center site. Again, it's to sign the proposal and to issue them payment of $700 to start that process.
Was this already part of the plans in it, or?
All of the electrical and all of those, we have to pay for those services to get connected. That's not part of those
Okay.
were not out to bid, so
I got
these
you.
are all additional. We'll have one coming from IMU as well to put the electrical there. This is just the gas proposal, so to run the electric and all of that there, we'll be seeing one from IMU.
Okay.
We just haven't received it yet.
So is this part of the bond, though?
Yes.
It is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I would move, it is $700, isn't it?
It is, yes.
$700 gas service proposal with Mid-America Energy Company for the Justice Center project.
Second.
Discussion? Tracy?
Scholl.
Aye.
McIntyre.
Aye.
DeCook.
Aye. Motion carries. Number 6, consider speed limit change on Beardsley Street, Border Street between County Highway R57/80th Avenue and Southwest 28th Street and 85th Avenue, Fleur Drive with possible action.
So I believe we sent a map with this one that we generated in Beacon. We desire to reduce the speed from 45 to 35 on this stretch of road because there are inconsistent speed zones in the area. There's an existing 40-mile-per-hour zone to the east, which I believe we did recently approve in the last few months. And then to the west, you have existing 35 and 25-mile-per-hour speed zones. So to fix that inconsistency, we desire to reduce that speed for that stretch of roadway. And we also had some citizens requested as well.
And there's also there's a church daycare that comes out right there too.
Yep.
That my youngest one attends, so
Interesting.
doesn't bother me to slow it down a little. Okay.
I move we change the speed limit from 45 to 35 as on the roads listed in resolution number 6,
Second.
which meant I didn't want to read out.
Smart.
One's a Des Moines, one's a Norwalk. One's ours.
Whole lot of speed is going on.
Yeah.
Beardsley actually turns into Border right there, which is also really bizarre.
Yeah, it's all the cities with their conflicting names.
Yep. Okay, we've got a motion and we have a second on the table. Any further discussion? Seeing none. Tracy?
Schultz.
Aye.
McIntyre.
Aye.
DeCook.
Aye, motion carries. Okay, supervisors report. Supervisor Scholl.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Since the last meeting, I've had meetings with IMU, the City of Indianola, Warren County Economic Development, and at least one road issue out in the county. Also, something I've just spent massive time with is called Heal House. And Heal House is kind of an interesting project because we have purchased a motel that part of that structure was built in 1935. And it has 12 motel rooms. And so 7 churches, 5 individuals have adopted those 12 rooms, and they've committed to completely redo the inside, floor, ceiling, walls, small bathrooms at their own cost, and also purchase necessary beds for each and every one of the rooms. So kind of an interesting project. Any way you turn, there's major renovations that need to be done, whether it be the parking lot, which is concrete, which is very expensive. Unfortunately, the water runs right to the motel, not away from the motel, so we've got to do something with that. The roof on the main unit is rubber unit, and I think that's pretty expensive. We gotta look at that hard. And the siding is going to be adequate, and we'll get it painted in the middle of August, but very interesting project, and they say that on January 20th in Indianola, we had 35 people that were homeless. So they take a survey every year in January, and that's what it was this year. These people have been kind of operating this, obviously without a place to put people, so they do it with the local motels. But since inception, and inception for them was October of 2017, they have helped 175 people, of which about 25% of those are what I would consider to be youth, which is 18 and down. So school age people. So necessary project. I just hope this thing stands through the next wind. That would be my report.
Thank you very much, sir. And Supervisor McIntyre.
Thank you. Aging Resources Board of Directors Zoom meeting, insurance and grant review, Board of Supervisors special. Drove to Aging Resources for papers to be signed. ISAC Supervisors Education Committee Zoom meeting. Warren County Community Update by Health Services by Zoom. Impact Board of Directors Zoom meeting. Safety Committee meeting at the admin building. 911 Director and EMA Coordinator updates. Board of Supervisors special meeting. Another Board of Supervisors, let's see, for claims by Zoom, and Warren County Community Update by the EMA and the EMA Commission meeting. Human Resources and 911 Executive meeting with 911 Director for workflow review. ISIC's Sub-Regional Pilot Policy and Request Review by Zoom. And HR and Sheriff tour of the Sheriff Office. HR Sheriff and 911 Executive Board meeting at the admin. And that is my report.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And mine, I'll do it a little differently. I'll just give you 4 things that I think are important and sort of updates on those 4 things. First, I think most people are aware that the courthouse is progressing, the walls are going up. There is I think it's on Facebook, but it might be YouTube, but there's a sort of a daily interactive site in which you can actually watch things. But it is progressing and it's going vertical, so as much as the dry weather sometimes pains me and probably increases water bills, it's actually really helpful for a project to have some solid weather there, but it is progressing well. To that extent, I've also had some meetings with the City of Indianola and DCI specifically regarding the square and some utility issues, including the sewer and wastewater. I think we're going to work together with the City of Indianola as their upcoming streetscape project is going to require some utility work, and so there's some timing aspects of when those things can happen and maybe should happen, but we're on it, and hopefully we can do some coordination. I've always taken the position that where the county's boundary on the courthouse extends, that's sort of our responsibility. Beyond the boundary, I view that as a city responsibility. But for timing purposes, I do think it makes sense if you're going to be tearing up the road for a future streetscape project that we hook our tubes in at the same time. And so I think we're going to coordinate that, and that's progressing. Number 2, 80th Avenue is very near and dear to my heart, and the north part of 80th Avenue is now open, which should connect the folks that live in Twin Lakes. There's an access road that I know was somewhat problematic while they were constructing the road. It just gets rutted and pitted, and a big truck maybe with a 6-inch lift goes through those ruts fine, but some people drive smaller cars, and that was a little bit problematic. But the good news is that the north part is now, I think, minorly open, at least for residents, but that road is coming along nicely. Same as the courthouse. Weather has been a huge bonus, and so I think their elder has done a great job, and they are ahead of schedule. I'll also give a special shout out to Nick Tomatich, who is sort of the project leader on that. He's been incredibly transparent and upfront with the citizens who use that road or the people that live on that road, with frequent updates and not just kind of fluff updates, but actually things that people need to know, and he's been really timely and on it. So I think that is commendable, and it is ahead of schedule. Hopefully all the way done soon, and I look forward to writing on it because it does save a little time if you're going south on Norwalk. Number 3, this board very recently made a decision as a board to change our liability, our insurance coverage as a county. And it wasn't an easy decision, but we have moved to Travelers. They are an actual insurance company, and I think that the public, it's good for the public to understand maybe why, the rationale on that. A company like Travelers, we were with ICAP, like many counties and municipalities are, and I'm not saying anything bad about ICAP, but there's a big difference between a company like Travelers and a mutual assured company like ICAP. And so I use the term sticky, but it's difficult to leave a company like ICAP, because when you have existing claims, that coverage ends when the contract ends, and ICAP doesn't have to provide continuous coverage for claims that happened during their period of insurance. Now that's very different than Travelers or other traditional insurance companies, whereas like I have State Farm for my homeowner's policy, so if someone came to my house and got hurt, and sued me. Well, they would technically sue me and State Farm. But if I decided at some point in time that I didn't like State Farm, or I found a better rate with Geico, or I found a better rate with some other insurance company, and I switched providers. Well, with an insurance company, that claim that they've already had, they still have to provide coverage. So they're providing counsel, they're still paying out, if it goes to trial and we lose, they're gonna pay out the medical bills, maybe less my deductible or whatever, whether I'm with Geico or whether I'm with State Farm. And that's the same with Travelers. But it wasn't the same with ICAP. And ultimately, we had some information a couple weeks back with some exposure numbers that maybe weren't 100% perfect. One of the two cases has now been resolved, which is great. And the other one, we have one outstanding case. And the difference is now we're the ones that are responsible for that case because we don't really have it covered. So, but I think it'll provide some flexibility, and then importantly, the cost for the insurance, as presented to me and the board, it was higher limits, lower deductible, better coverage, and the cost was about $47,000 a year less in insurance premiums. And so I think that it was a prudent move that'll provide some flexibility in the future, and I'm pleased about it. And finally, very, very small PSA, 4th of July is now over. Hopefully we all had an opportunity to spend some time with friends and family and celebrate. I will say this, I am a fireworks lover. I like shooting them, I like watching them, but I also believe in some personal responsibility, and I have a soapbox, and so I'm here and on it. But as I drove down today, I did see by some bridges, there's leftover boxes and fireworks trash. I know I've seen it at, I don't even think you're supposed to light them off on public property. You're technically supposed to light them off on your own property. But it seems like some folks are lighting them off in public spaces because it's probably a bit more wide open, and I'm not getting into the legality of that. But I would ask, though, that the people that are watching this, please, please, please pick up your trash. You're better than that. We're better than that. And when you don't pick up your trash, you literally leave it for someone else to do, and you make Warren County less beautiful in my mind. So if you still have some fireworks boxes out there, today would be a great day to circle back and pick up your trash. That's all I have. Okay. Public input, number 8. The time is yours.
I see none.
Okay. Our next regular meeting is scheduled for July 21, 2020. That is our evening meeting. It will be held here at 6 p.m.
I would adjourn. Move to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Tracy?
Schultz.
Aye.
McIntyre.
Aye.
DeCook.
Aye. Thank you all for your time.
But, Justin was back for a while. How we say Justin
Jim Brady.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty close.
Little description and then